We're back at Bryant Motors with new owner Kyle Herrick. And Kyle, we say is the new owner, but he's actually been here for the last 28 years. Kyle, you've got a couple months underneath your belt, so tell us what plans you have coming up soon for Bryant.
Well, Ed, you're right, I have. I've been here 28 years, so it's kind of a new role, but it's a little different. We've got a lot of stuff going on, Ed. We're currently in the middle, and you can probably hear construction going on. We're putting in some new lighting right now out on the lot. We're going to use LED, which is going to be state-of-the-art, and it's also going to be energy efficient. We've got inventory coming in like crazy. We've got about a third of the vehicles currently in, with another 100 still ordered, so things are going great.
I heard you say something about solar panels when you were talking with the guys. What's up with that?
Well, we're in the midst of, we're going to make some modifications to the showroom area. Once we do that, we're going to be working with a company, and we're going to put in some solar panels to generate some solar energy. We believe that we can generate enough with the exposure that we have here to at least run the electricity for the lights inside here, and then also for some of our computers.
Well, that's a pretty responsible attitude, going green like that.
Well, I think it is. We currently, one of the things that we currently do is we burn our waste oil. So rather than having waste oil hauled off and disposed of, we actually have 2 furnaces in the back that burn it. So we're making our own heat in the wintertime out of our used oil. So we're headed that way, and we're going to do more so with the new lighting, and then also with the new solar panels.
Well, that's really great. I see that your pre-owned inventory looks a whole lot larger, and your new car inventory too. What have you done so far to increase the number of vehicles you have?
Well, as I said, we've been going to the auction, picking up a lot of pre-owned vehicles. The cool part about getting in a big new car inventory, Ed, is we continue to add good used vehicles because we trade with our good customers that have serviced their vehicles here. We've taken care of, and we get a lot of great trade-ins, and they're great story cars. They're really easy to sell because we've got all the service records, and
you know the car from the beginning.
We know the car from day one. We sold it, we've serviced it, and those folks come back in and see our big inventory, and they're ready to trade cars, so it makes it a great fit.
Now, what has been the most rewarding experience you've had so far as new owner?
So far, I would tell you that the most rewarding is we've continued to increase our new and pre-owned sales. Our service business has gone up. Our body shop business has gone up. So all in all, the thing I'm happiest about is we're continuing to grow. We had a good model from Jack and Mike and the Bryant Motor Company prior to this, and they made it 75 years ahead, and my goal is to make it another 75 years, and I think we've got the ability to do that.
Well, I imagine you're going to, if you can hang in there long enough.
I'm not going to be here another 75 years, but we're going to do everything we can to make sure that the foundation's set for the next group.
Things are going well for Chrysler overall nationally. I hear on the news that Chrysler just had one of its best months with like a 34% increase. What do you think causes that?
Boy, this Fiat and Chrysler venture has been a great thing, and Fiat kind of bought Chrysler thinking that Fiat would help Chrysler, but it's just been the opposite. Chrysler's been the one really carrying the load for Fiat. We're getting ready to come out with this new Dodge Dart vehicle. That vehicle is going to be really cool. It's going to be our first 40+ mile per gallon vehicle, and it's going to have a lot of the components of the Fiat in it. So it's been a good venture, but Chrysler is just gangbusters. The new 300 and the 200 are just great cars, and we're heading the right way.
Well, now Chrysler got involved with the government a couple of years ago with that thing, and they borrowed money or got money.
Correct.
Wasn't there some news about the loan or something?
Well, it's interesting you asked. Mr. Marchione was just on 60 Minutes, I think last week.
Who's Mr. Marchione? Mr.
Marchione is the CEO and the president was of Fiat and now of the whole Fiat Chrysler Corporation group. And Chrysler Corporation has paid back those $6 billion in loan that they borrowed. And Ed, something that's interesting, and I didn't know it, and he pointed it out in the interview. Those loans were the government gave those loans to Chrysler and General Motors at 19.7% interest.
Gee, many Christmas.
So they had a real interest in getting those loans paid off early at that kind of interest rate. You can imagine how much that would cost on a monthly basis to make a payment.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing they did get that paid off. Jeez. Now, you've got a pretty fun commercial running on TV right now. It's the one that has the jingle where people come from everywhere.
We do.
Where's the furthest anybody's come from to buy a car from Bryant Motors?
Well, first of all, you're right. The new jingle's good, and I have you and Colin to thank for that, because that's been a great commercial and a great ad. We're running it both on cable and on radio spots. We're getting a lot of good press on it. People like it. I had a mother come up to me the other day, and her son hears it every morning on ESPN, and he's memorized it verbatim. so that's kind of cool to hear, and that commercial kind of brings in the local towns, but probably the furthest we've sold a car would be Florida. Panama City Beach, Florida is probably the furthest point away, but we've been on the East Coast and the West Coast too. So.
My son was born in Panama City, so I know that's a long ways. It's about 950 miles from here.
It is a long way. It's a long drive.
Summer's coming up and tax refunds are coming in, and one of the funnest vehicles around is a Jeep Wrangler. And I noticed that you have one on the lot. And I hate to say that. Yes, all we have is one. A week ago we had 5, and wow.
they sell very, very quickly. We're ordering them with the 2 and the 4-door both, the hard and the soft top. It is a versatile vehicle. And 5 years ago, Ed, 5 or 6 years ago, people didn't like to drive them because they were awful rough, but with this new engine and transmission and the new suspension, they ride really nice, and they're just a fun vehicle to drive, and they sell as fast as we get them in.
How many do you have coming in?
I've got 15 currently on order between the 2 and the 4 doors. I don't think we'll get all those at one time. If we would, it'd be great, but I've ordered a lot of different colors. They're coming up with some greens and some blues and some reds, so it's just a cool vehicle.
I've watched your guys, the ones that have been here for a while, and you have somebody new too. But I see them all, including you, dealing with people, and they really have an easygoing way about them. Have you altered your sales philosophy at all, or has it remained the same? Or?
Well, thanks for noticing that. No, we really haven't changed things a lot from the old Bryant Motor Company to the new Bryant Motors. I've just got good people. I've got good people in the service department, great salespeople. Jeff Lubring's been with me 15 years. John Dick's been with me 4 or 5 years. Our newest addition, Steve Rizzo, he's doing a fantastic job. And Ed, their philosophy is the same as mine, and that is, if you treat people like you want to be treated, this is an easy business. And the other thing that we do is we want to make it fun. I don't want to make it painful for somebody to spend $25,000, $30,000 on a new car. It ought to be fun, so we laugh and have fun about it.
Yeah, I noticed that everybody is just pretty happy here.
Well, thank you. That's what we try to do. We try to make everybody comfortable and make it fun.
Well, Kyle, thank you so much for joining us today and filling us in on the latest here at Bryant's. We'll look forward to hearing more about things going on here as time goes on. Thanks, Ed. Be sure to remind everybody, 2901 South Limit. You can find our inventory on BryantMotors.com, and our new tagline, Ed, is Ride with People You Trust, and we're going to stick that on everything, so come in and see us. Thanks a lot, Kyle. Thanks, Ed.